Yo, what's up, Sam? Good to see you, man. How you doing, bro? The man on the stream. Are you happy early holidays? Doing good, bro. Just been working and toggling 2 kids. What have you been up to, man? Your house looks like you're living the good life of a dad, bro. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a mess right now in the office. That's better. Are you in a house or a condo? I'm living in an apartment. 3-bedroom apartment. Dude, it's nicer than my mobile home. The flooring is super nice. Yeah, they recently did the flooring. It's kind of cheap though, it looks nice. There we go. Dog, my pad is so cheap. I'm redoing the whole thing. I break everything when I walk on it. Same, man. The floor underneath me is like going out. What have you been playing lately? Been playing a lot of random stuff. Been playing Banjo-Kazooie. What have you been playing? something. Pink G. Terrible. COD 3 and Lethal Company. Nice. Besides gaming, what have you been up to, man? You just been working or what? Oh. Yeah, man, just been doing little work and trying to stay busy. Cool, man. Woo! Oh. Do you have a Nintendo Switch? Yee. Dude, it just burned my mouth so bad. What'd you do? Ate some hot rice and melted in my mouth. Wild, brother, wild. Nathan Esser on YouTube. Yo, bro, what's up? I had food from Coco and sushi tonight. doing all right. How about you? Doing all right, bro. You had Pizza Hut. Nice, dude. What was your toppings? Stuffed crust with sausage, bacon, and meatball. Dang, sounds good. Oh, just reading on WoW, doing my nighttime stuff. Nice. You know, David still plays WoW, bro. You should hook up with David, play some WoW. He was telling me how you guys used to play WoW at Revolution, bro.
License. Hard drive to the computer license. But purchase Launchbox. This site here, I'll leave a link in the description. This is our is put in your email address that your license was attached. Link in to this just launch email address. All you'll need is your initial email address that you used to sign up and purchase Launchbox. And you're gonna head over to this site here. I'll leave a link in the description.
I need his number, dog. Okay, okay. I'll message you his number. good, Dravad. I miss that dude. Yeah, dude. I'm sure he missed you. He hasn't seen you in a while. What's next? Gonna get some stuff set up so we can play. Wait, hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. After we get some more stuff set up, I am going to play some more Banjo-Kazooie and do some more in-game footage. Download. Didn't your parents have like a train set in the back? Your ideal house? We did. You remember that, man? It's cool that you remember that. Mason, I don't remember those trains ever actually running for all the time I know you there. I felt like they ran in the very beginning. When we moved in because my dad was like on top of doing maintenance on them. But yeah, even when they did work, do you remember like there's all these like dead spots on the tracks? So we'd be like, woo! And it would like stop. And we have to get these like things out and like like scrub like the metal on the tracks. Mason, I thought of something last week that I don't know if you remember, but do you remember in 5th grade when Perfect Dark came out? And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it too. And I told my mom, and she was like, okay, yeah, I'll get it at Toys R Us while you're at school, and then when you get home, you'll have Perfect Dark. And then me being excited all day, going, dude, when I get home, I'll play Perfect Dark, dude, I'll have it too. Only to get home and ask my mom did you get Perfect Dark? And she goes, no. And I go, why? And she goes, yeah, well, I got the game, and as I was checking out, the cashier was like, did you know that this is rated M for mature? And my mom was like, no, what does that mean? She's like, yeah, you have to be 16 years old. Was it 16 or 17 years old or older to play it? Or it's rated for like 16 or older? Because remember, GoldenEye was rated T for teen. Perfect Dark was rated M for mature. And she's like, no, I didn't get it. And I was, because of that. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And I was like, thanks a lot, like, Toys R Us cashier. Okay, so it is 17, Nate. Alright. That's cool. I think I remember having to make the case that you were fighting Diablo and Diablo to get them to let you play Diablo 2. Okay, but do you also remember how my dad broke the game and how I never ended up getting to play it? Took the disc? Because you got it for me, didn't you? I remember that one. Oh yeah, don't. Yeah, remember how I never played Diablo 2, but you got it for me? That's why. Yeah, he took it. It was like, it's the devil. As a Christian, I gotta tell you, dude, their theology is pretty poor. I mean, they're the same people that were like, you're not allowed to read Harry Potter. And then somebody made other Christians who were like theologically solid were like, when I was telling them this, they were like, okay, but your parents like Lord of the Rings, right? And I was like, yeah. And the person was like, so do you not remember any spells and stuff happening during Lord of the Rings when you watch the movies? And I go, oh, good point. So Lord of the Rings, it's okay for wizards and whatever it is, right? People to do spells and whatnot, but not Harry Potter. That one was upsetting. Nathan Esser, bingo, exactly. And also, I mean, come on, you've got to be like a little intellectually honest in the conversation, right? I mean, how is playing the game Diablo the same as devil exaltation, devil worship, right? Jeez. Like, because you have a game that's the devil in Spanish, how does that equate to you are giving the green light to worship the devil and you're okaying the devil? I don't know, it was just that's an example of people that are Christian that are ultra conservative that like I don't know how to explain it other than just that's just like theologically just like incorrect, right? It's like, you know, without getting too much onto a rant, but I'm just really against ultra traditional conservative Christianity, because a lot of the times it's values and traditions that actually aren't in line with the Bible, right? You gotta think as Christians, like, okay, so if we believe the Bible to be the truth, right? Okay, so therefore we should study the Bible. Okay, so how do we study it? Okay, so we do a proper exegesis of Scripture. Study the Hebrew, study the Greek, right? What does the Bible actually say, right? And that was one thing I learned in Bible college, is that, like, is that it's actually freeing. It's actually very freeing to know it's actually freeing to know what the Bible actually says. There's many Christian traditions that have actually put chains on people that God never intended to be. Does that make sense? Like, Christians and Catholics have come up, like, you know, people that are, like, you know, we're talking about, like, people, Catholic, Christian, under the umbrella of, you know, Christ followers, right? Who have created extra things that God never intended. And it's fine to add traditions, extra things, okay? But when your tradition butts heads with God himself, you need to ditch that tradition. Anyway, so there's just a lot of things that I've learned. And now I'm not deconstructing. I'm not a fan of the whole deconstructing Christianity that's been happening for years. I'm not interested in deconstructing it. I'm interested into knowing what the Bible actually says. And then you find out, like, what the Bible actually says is quite freeing, right? So yeah, that's stuff that really was. I know it does more damage for other people. I mean, it was kind of unhelpful for me in my walk with God, because you kind of just are like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like traditions and these extra rules rule your life, and it's like, okay, you know, like, for example, like, there's some Christians that think, like, drinking is, like, sinful. It's like, okay, but it's not. You can't prove to me once in Scripture that it is. It's like, you might be a Christian and you might have had an alcoholic problem, right? And maybe it's a form of discipline that you need to stay away from alcohol, because you know that maybe stuff you learned in AA is that, like, it's best to, like, not even give an inch of, like, falling back into, like, bad habits. So maybe you, like, have no alcohol in the house, not even for cooking. Maybe it's extreme measures of you never go out to drink, right? So I get extreme measures, but, like, that's like as a Christian, you should know that, like, okay, like, that's what I have to do to protect myself from falling into that issue again. But I know that drinking is not a sin biblically, right? Like, there needs to be more of, like, what actual, it already exists. It's just the loudest Christians are the ones who are anti-science, anti-intellectualism, anti-philosophy, just anti. Okay, get this. So, you know what accurate theology is? Is like knowing that all these things God has created for us as people to understand just our lives here better, right? So, like, science isn't anti-Christianity, and Christians need to stop saying science is bad. No, it's not. If God created all these things, then he's giving us the gift to know the molecular structure of an apple, how a quasar works, how physics work. Like, if we truly believe as Christians that God put all these things in place, then, like, okay, they exist, you can't deny it. So, like, as God's gift, he's like, here, enjoy these things, know these things better, right? I mean, so this is the stuff I've learned in Bible college, and it's like, you're like, wow, it's like, it's these things aren't, like, contrary to the Bible. They're supposed to help you as a Christian to know God better. Like, I just grew up with, like, you know, when you're in like these circles, you just kind of grow up and influenced by like anti-intellectualism, anti-science, and it's like those things aren't contradictory to God. It's like if you have good theology, then you know, like, okay, if God created the universe, then you know that like studying space is like that's God's creation. Why not be interested in it? Sorry, let me catch up with chat. That's so true. Unfortunately, my mom had become one of them. Biblical consistency is key. Jesus drank. If drinking is a sin, you are calling Jesus a sinner. No, exactly. Now, come to think of it, were you still considering Bible studies? No, I didn't. I haven't thought about going back to Bible college. I mean, it might be helpful to continue on, but like, yeah. But like, solid Christianity is like a holistic approach to things because, again, if we believe that God has put these things here on the planet, right? So like, interested, like, you know, like being into the sciences, right? Being into philosophy, being into economics, being in, right? Like, to not be like, no, nope, no. Like, you know, Bobby Boucher, right? You know, from like, from Waterboy. You know how like he's so shielded that his mama even makes up terms and how understanding of things. Like, what does he find out? He gets into argument with like the professor. He's like, but mama said, he's like the medulla oblongata, right? But mama said that's kind of like the sad thing that like a lot of Christians do is just like they just shield you from things, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, there's something else that Mason said, but I think I had to scroll back on chat. Give me 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. Now that I think about it, how did you ever manage to listen to the music you do? Your dad is musical too. Did you think Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden are evil? Good question. Yeah, I don't know what he thought about it. But anyways, didn't want to get off on a tangent on just religious stuff to you know, upset or bore anybody or offend anybody. I was just talking about it. Oh, yeah, I was like, I was gonna ask how to even get here, but I remember it's just there was relevancy into what I was saying of how, you know, why it was crack the game. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I hope that stuff, I hope the stuff I said and the concerns I mentioned makes sense to you guys of like why it's like as Christians it's important to read what the Bible actually says, right? I'm not interested in, well, because you know, a lot of people go like, you know, how can anything, you know, like one of the arguments like, you know, how can anything like even be true, or there's no consistency because like one denomination believes one thing, one denomination believes another, which without getting too deep into it, it's like yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe on the primary things for like salvation, right? And there's a lot of disagreements, but here's the thing: a lot of disagreements within the capital C church, right, around the world. Oh, there's only a lot of disagreements because a lot of denominations or different groups of Christians just aren't good at reading the Bible, right? So it's like, well, some people believe this, some people believe that. It's like, well, I mean, that's what it looks like, and you're right. That's kind of what's happening, but out of like the denominations or churches that are like centered and like focused on like preaching the actual Bible, there's not problems with a misinterpretation of scripture, because you know, like when it comes down to it, if you study like the Greek and Hebrew, there's not going to be room for misinterpretation, because like if you understand the Greek and Hebrew that the original writers were like writing in, right, or in Aramaic, right, there's like a few other couple languages, right, but the issues as to why people don't like people like have misinterpretations of scriptures is because they're not like, they're just like misinterpreting like on the English level of exegesis of scripture. And it's like, right, there might be like interpretations of like wisdom literature, like Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, right? I mean, like that wisdom literature is like written in such a way that's kind of like poetic, right? But we're talking about like accounts of things, right? It's like in the Gospels, or like the sense of like events that happened in the Old Testament, like because that's written like in a manner of like factual language, like I'm stating this isn't like open to interpretation, this is what I'm saying. It's like it's hard to you shouldn't be able to misinterpret it. It would just be, this is what it says, now I can choose to either believe it or not. But because like in like actual Greek and Hebrew, there's like precise ways of like knowing what was actually being said, right? So like in English, we could say, I love God, I love cake, and love could be used for either of those things, right? But for example, in Greek, there's like, and just like in other languages, right? Like, so in Greek, it's like loving God and loving cake. The word love in the Greek has a specific tier up to what you put that love to, right? So like the wording for loving God and wording for like loving cake would be specific to those two things. So like the language is pretty precise, and so yeah, the people that misinterpret or have their own interpretations of the Bible, like that's, it really only exists in denominations or churches that just aren't good at reading, studying the Bible. And so it's really sad to see the church do more harm than good when you have a lot of Christians who are doing things that are not biblically accurate. And unfortunately, those are the loudest people. And so those are the people that misrepresent what the Bible says, they misrepresent what Jesus says, and that's the loudest. And people go, oh yeah, I hate Christianity. It's like, well, what sucks is this, right? What I would rather this is that like, and I talk to people a lot about Christianity. It's like, if you're gonna like hate Jesus and you're gonna hate what the Christian belief is, like hate it for what it actually says. And what's happening a lot of times is that like, or disbelieve it for what it says, right? A lot of times Christians that are like really unloving and hateful, like misrepresent. What I mean misrepresent is that like they inaccurately portray Jesus, inaccurately share the word of God, right? And so what ends up happening is that people don't hate God. What they end up hating is this person's interpretation of God, that they falsely, you know, it's like Paul says we're supposed to be ambassadors of Christ, right? So like as an ambassador, you're supposed to be representing on behalf of God to the world, like, hey, like let me tell you about God, right? And as an ambassador, you're supposed to be very serious about representing who God is and accurately representing who God is. And there's a lot of people that are poor ambassadors for Christ, and they do more damage than good. And so the damage they do is that because they inaccurately portray God, people have a false view of who God is. And so they go, oh, like Christianity is a hateful religion. Or the God of the Bible is a hateful person. It's like, dude, like what this person is doing is like, God hasn't even said that, you know? And so like, that's what I mean by like people, Christians and Catholics have put chains on people that God never intended to happen. Right? God didn't put those chains on people. People did. And so that was kind of my motivation in church, was to like, it's like not to deconstruct everything, because I don't want to be like I don't come off as like a heresy hunter. Oh, the whole church is wrong. It's like I want to work on like just doing a good job at like maybe deconstructing stuff that's done damage that it's happening in like in the church and the local church, right? Capital C and lowercase c. That's like, that's inaccurate. We're hurting people and not helping people by doing this. So that was, you know, one of the things that like I was not motivated to do per se. My motivation was to accurately disciple people and make sure people are accurately worshiping God and Jesus and knowing Him more. It wasn't until like I can't wait to go deconstruct and tell everybody how wrong they are. That wasn't the motivation. I mean, it came off of that to some people sometimes, but that wasn't my motivation. But anyways, I don't want to go on any more tangents about that because I don't want to bore you guys. But I do have another question. Question for Mason about Half-Life. Mason, do you remember years ago when we tried to get Sven co-op to work? It was like when Sven kind of like first came out. Do you remember that? And like we sort of got it working, but like not really. Like I felt like as far as we got was the hub world. Like I kind of remember like we both like joined a server. It was like you're kind of in this hub world, and there's all these like portals to like the levels that you like you go to. I don't know how it is now, but I was like trying to look into it. I'm like, oh, did they update? Did they update Sven to incorporate Blue Shift and Opposing Force? And I was looking it up, and apparently it is, but there is some sort of workaround where you have to like manually go into like directories and copy and paste stuff, but apparently they have incorporated Sven or Half-Life Blue Shift and Half-Life Opposing Force into Sven. That's right, when chapters change. Yeah. That was a specific. To your knowledge, has anybody, I mean obviously I could look it up, I just want to know off the top of your head. Has anybody worked on like a Half-Life 2 version of Sven? Nate, were you at the did you help out with the morning service at Coastline today? Let's see. Oops. There was a mod called Synergy, I think, for that. No idea how well it works. Ooh. All right, let's boot up some Banjo. I just was thinking about it. We should get going. I am so you got scheduled for Christmas Eve service. Okay. I am working on shooting in-game footage, you guys, for the first person series I'm doing on my retro gaming channel. I am also trying to actively work on a retro U-log series, which my phone is thinking I'm talking to Siri, which I'm trying to do. But to get to the levels of record the U-log footage, I've got to play the game, you know? So wait, let me get a record. I mentioned I wanted to record this. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so let's get some footage of this. Oh, come on, 4K capture. What are you doing? First person views. Banjo Kazooie. Run Tilda's lair. Okay, let's try to get about 15 minutes of this footage too. The cauldron is sleeping so peacefully. You know, should I make a like 8 hours of all the cauldrons and all the cauldrons in Gruntilda's lair sleeping? Something to fall asleep to for like 8 hours. I'll do like each cauldron in the lair. What do you think? Should I do that too? But yeah, he's sleeping so peacefully, like a freaking cartoon character. Look, he's like, hey, me. It's bedtime. Mason, over the summer, you played through the Banjo games, correct? Was it both Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, or just one of them? Am I remembering correctly, or no? I did Kazooie and Tooie. Okay. Oh, Mason, I wanted to show you. I don't know if you saw last night when I was talking about it, but I got Animal Crossing for the GameCube. Obviously, I'm gonna play it emulation, but I love just collecting the physical copies. Whoa, green screened out. There we go. We'll do this. We'll do this scene. Kind of want to go through all the Animal Crossings. Last night, Nate Esser, you were telling me you could play like the Nintendo games inside of Animal Crossing, right? Nice. I remember how it came with a memory card because it took an entire one. Okay, so you remember it. Did you own Animal Crossing on the GameCube? Or you just knew of it? It's interesting because at the time Animal Crossing was out, I was just not interested in it. I hadn't played it a bunch. Okay, then it must be one of those things where it's like you told me and I was just like, maybe I just like didn't care much for it, so I never like wanted one. Yeah, I just from the outside it always looked lame, but how I got into it was years later on the Wii. They launched City Folk as a like Nintendo Select, so it was like $19.99. You know, I got into collecting, which meant like whether I like games or not, I'm gonna get it anyways. City Folk was $19.99, so I got it. This was probably fall 2016, and dude, I like fell in love with Animal Crossing. Me and Allie both. So yeah, after getting it, I really got into Animal Crossing. I really enjoy this Nintendo IP now. That's right, you had it, played it a bunch. Weird memories coming back. It was when we were remodeling our whole house. I had my N64 hooked up in what was our dining room with a tiny TV on a shelf in the cabinet with a bunch of food and playing it there. Nice. Speaking of memories, let's see. I was reading the player's guide of the game, and that's when I found out it had NES games, and I'm like, well, that beats blowing off the cartridges. GameCube, I meant. Okay, yeah. I think I knew what you meant. So, Mason, is the reason they include the memory card the only because it's so big? Was that really the only reason they included it? There was like anything special about it. It was just like we need to give players a memory card to play this. Oh, let me stand. I would assume so. It was just a normal memory card with a Animal Crossing sticker on it. Okay. One of my favorite memories at your house is also the first time trying Arby's in the back room. And we watched Titanic on VHS. I think there was 4 VHS tapes. Yo, Debbie, what's up? Yo, wanted to drop in and say hi. I'm about to go to bed. Hope you have a good stream. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Good to see you. But yeah, hope you have a good night, Debbie. Good to catch you on Kick. Yeah. I'm multi-streaming right now to Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm glad you got your multi-streaming figured out. I always try to pop by when I can. Pop by. Pop in. It's stop by and pop in. I said pop by. I always try to stop by when I can. Even if I don't say anything, I do sometimes lurk when I get a chance. Like sometimes I'll be at work and you'll be live, and so I'll just like pull you up in a tab and like alt tab and just be there. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course, of course. Sorry, we're just recording. There's not much going on right now. I'm just recording some like in-game footage, like first-person view footage of Banjo-Kazooie. So if you're stopping by, like, why is he just sitting here looking at a cauldron? just trying to record some footage while I'm live. I do this a lot off stream. I have this like other channel on YouTube. It's like a retro gaming one. I just do a lot of like in-game footage that I upload for people. But yeah, I usually do it offline. But over the weekend I was like, yeah, you know what? Why not just kill two birds with one stone and record it while being live, so I can talk to people while I'm doing this. Because a lot of times I'll like get a shot I want, start recording, and then like get up and leave, and just like set like a timer on my Apple Watch for like 10 to 15 minutes and come back. So this is one of those things where it's like, why not just like chat with people while I'm doing this? Ocean at my garage. I gotta change out the we have a bunch of Ring cameras set up around our house. Front door. This office has a camera facing out into the front lawn. We have a camera on the side of the house. Camera in the living room, and then a camera in the garage. And the garage Ring camera is not like, because it's an apartment complex, like I can't drill or like plug in the garage security Ring camera, so you have to use batteries and you have to charge them with like a USB-C charger. I mean, it takes a while for it to die, but it's one of those things that like I've got to get like a 3 steps. I got to get this like big step stool out, which is, it's like the size of like a mini ladder. Walk out to our garage, which is like, it's not attached to our like our apartment itself. It's like in this alley. This alley, like maybe like 90, 100 feet away from like where our house is. And then I gotta like bring the batteries out, get up and like unscrew everything and take the old batteries out, put the new ones in. It's like, it's just like annoying to do. So anyways, what reminded me of that is I just got a Ring notification from the garage. And I just forgot. I'm like, oh man, I've been meaning to do that this weekend. I don't want to do it. Okay, we're at about 12 minutes of this scene, or this shot. And we'll move on. Ugh. Mason, are you still playing New Horizons? I'm still behind on New Horizons. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Have you played any of that DLC? The one where you have a job? No, like all Animal Crossing games, I played daily for a while when it came out and then stopped completely. I've never started again. So your house is gonna have all these cockroaches. And the island's probably gonna have all these like weeds on it. Ugh. Okay, about a minute left. The sweepy cauldron. So sweepy. Who do you think they hired to do the witch's laugh? Or the witch's cackle? Could you imagine getting paid for that? Dude, people who do like voiceover work in 20 or since 2020, like probably all do it from their houses now in their own studio. Like more than ever. Could you imagine that, dude? If you're like a voiceover like artist. I was gonna say a vocalist, but that's like for a band. And like you just have your home studio and you just like do like recordings and then yeah, let me send it to you on OneDrive or Google Drive. Might as well get these eggs. Oh shoot. And a mumbo skull. Time to go to Clanker's Cavern, everybody. Oh, it's already unlocked. Here we go. Alright, let's get some footage of this. Plankers Tavern. Alright, here we go. Our first shot. Plankers Cavern. Just going through some accessories. The Force Pack. Some third party Rumble pack for the N64. The Tremor Pack Plus. Mason, did you have this one? The one that could do both rumble and... And as works as memory card. Don't think so. It's freaking heavy as... Look. There we go. Some N64 ASMR. Got all these like VMU caps, memory card packs. These. Yeah, it was. Here we go. Got our mic for the Dreamcast. The pop cover disintegrated. The green one. Look. Whoops. Don't worry, we'll edit that out in post. How long have you been here? 5 minutes, 31 seconds. Did you just get back, Nate? Did you go AFK for a second? Is that why? I did. Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Mason, when's the next time you're going to be in California? Do you know? Unknown, but there's a small chance my next assignment will be near Sacramento, in which case April. And what do you mean assignment? Like you're gonna relocate or just be here temporarily for that assignment? Or I guess the question I should ask is, do you have to relocate for each assignment? Is like, in terms of assignment, is it big or is it like, is that usually what that means? Is like every time you move, that's like that's considered an assignment. Ouch! Pulled something on my foot. This temper is everything for me. If I get it, I'll be moving there for at least a few years. Okay. What are some games you're toggling right now, Mason? Just finished Disco Elysium, which was outstanding. Also doing Diablo 4, which is a wet noodle of mediocre. Saving Baldur's Gate 3 for the holidays when I have a good amount of time. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask, as somebody who's been who has been a Blizzard fan for a long time, and more specifically a Diablo fan for a long time, dating as far back as Diablo 1 and then obviously 2 and then 2 with the expansion. How has Diablo 3 and 4 been for you? Did you enjoy 3 and 4 like you did 1 and 2, or has it been kind of meh? Hold on, I'll be right back. They are very different. Path of Exile is the real Diablo 3, and Path of Exile 2 is looking like the real Diablo 4. I had a lot of fun with Diablo 3 though. D4 does some things I like, but too many issues keeping it back. Okay, another minute 45 left at this with this shot. Gonna Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, get a different angle. Don't touch that. All right, let's try this shot. We'll see. Okay, so a countdown timer of 15 minutes. All right. Let's try this. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hey guys, sorry I actually have got to log off for the night. The little girl's up, not Zoe, the other small one, Maxine. So I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys here. We're gonna have to end pause right here for the recordings. He's grabbing the mic. But anyways, y'all, thank you, Debbie, Nate, Sam, Mason for stopping by. She's grabbing the microphone. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your night. And I'll try to be back this week. And do some more streaming and hang out with you guys. All right. See you guys later. Maxine, hold on, stop.